Before I get fully into this preview, I kinda want to share a core memory of mine. I was 9 years old when I was invited to my first sleepover. Well, technically it was my brother's friends, but he's only a year older than me, so I got to tag along. Anyway, at around 10 p.m., still buzzing from our individual 2-liter sodas, someone put on Resident Evil, and if we're being specific, it was the director's cut version, but I digress. That's when my eyes met the first zombie turning its head, an iconic FMV that gave me nightmares until I dared return to the series a few years later. From there, I ended up playing them across multiple weekends and multiple trips to Blockbuster, but the series has always had this push and pull with me. I mean, sure, I'm terrified at times, but that hasn't stopped me from hesitantly starting each game with the same nervous excitement. Through the series' ups and downs, I've kept showing up, if only to piece together more of its ever-expanding story. Resident Evil Requiem, though, may have made things even more confusing. This time, we step into the role of FBI agent Grace Ashcroft, daughter of Resident Evil Outbreak's Alyssa Ashcroft. And sure, I said Outbreak because I was trying to be a cool guy, but she's also in Resident Evil 7. Anyway, what that means for the overarching plot and what horrors lie ahead for Grace are still a little unclear. What I can say is that after going hands-on with the game, I was reminded once again why Resident Evil still manages to scare the hell out of me. But let's unpack that in this preview.
Oh, yes.
The Resident Evil Requiem demo put me through two seemingly simple room-locked puzzles, yet getting through them was anything but basic. The biggest issue was the grotesque and large liquor-type monster relentlessly stalking Grace through the halls. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, there are moments where you can collect bottles to toss as distractions, but this thing isn't easily fooled. It has a knack for closing the gap and getting uncomfortably close, and I mean uncomfortably close. One of the most fascinating parts of the demo came from replaying it in both third and first person modes. Both times I played, the monster's behavior seemed to shift ever so slightly. On my second run, I even tried to get clever setting something up to rush through it, but the beast still managed to foil my plan. Worse yet, it would sometimes sniff me out of a hiding spot or cut me off mid-escape. The playable area only consisted of 3 rooms and a hallway, yet that was enough space for this monster to repeatedly scare the life out of me. And you can even ask the Capcom staff laughing behind me while I played. What really stood out to me here though was the sound design. The way the game conveyed the monster's position in relation to Grace left me with chills. At times I felt I could hear its wet, labored breath right behind my neck, which made the entire experience both terrifying and actually thrilling. Oh, and I should also clarify that yes, there will be shooting in this game, and I know that because I picked up some bullets, though I never actually fired a shot or held a gun. And honestly, the moment I get my hands on any weapon, even a slingshot, I'm planning on exacting revenge on that monster for humiliating me in front of the Capcom staff. Oh, and the option to choose between first and third person was surprisingly difficult. First person nails the immersion, letting you scan environments more closely while forcing you to come face to face with whatever is trying to kill you. Third person, on the other hand, highlights some excellent animations you'd otherwise miss, adding another layer to Grace's presence as a character. If you're already considering yourself a Grace fan, third person might be the way to go, but regardless of your perspective, I still ended up audibly shrieking and jumping in my seat. The demo ultimately left me with more questions than answers about Grace's journey. She's currently in an unfamiliar place and completely alone. Well, besides from that persistent monster, of course, but that's the beauty of Resident Evil. Looking back at myself as a scared 9-year-old, the feeling hasn't really changed. These unknown creatures still terrify me, yet I can't resist stepping back into the nightmare. This series has always excelled at crafting that blend of fear and intrigue, and Requiem is shaping up to deliver that once again. There's still so much to uncover, but personally, I'm eager to keep going, if only to finally get my revenge. And you can join me when Resident Evil Requiem launches on February 27th, 2026 for PS5, Series X, and PC. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
this way, not this way, not this way.
Voice y texto.